Georgie is still alive in the sewers. The most heartbreaking theory suggests Georgie Denbrough never actually died in that storm drain. Throughout both films, Pennywise's manifestations of Georgie feel different from other illusions. In the flooded basement scene, Georgie reaches for Bill with his arm completely intact, then suddenly it's torn and bleeding. That switch isn't typical of Pennywise's shapeshifting. It's more like switching between showing Bill the truth and a lie. In Chapter 2, when Bill finds Georgie in the sewers, the boy speaks with unusual emotional depth and references specific memories only the real Georgie would know. The novel describes it keeping victims in a catatonic state, feeding on their fear over extended periods rather than killing instantly. This explains why children go missing for weeks or months. The dead lights don't destroy consciousness, they trap it. When Bill finally shoots Georgie, he might be delivering a mercy killing to his brother, who's been suffering in the sewers for 27 years, aware but unable to escape. The theory transforms Bill's final confrontation from defeating an illusion into the most tragic choice imaginable. Pennywise lives, the Dreamcatcher proof. 15 years after it was published, Stephen King dropped a terrifying Easter egg suggesting the Losers Club failed. In Dreamcatcher, when characters return to Derry, they find a memorial plaque with spray paint reading, "Pennywise lives." This appears 16 years after the battle, right in the middle of Pennywise's 27-year cycle. What makes it disturbing is Mr. Gray, the alien antagonist, treats this graffiti as a legitimate territorial warning from another entity. In the Tommyknockers, a character swears he sees a clown in Derry's sewers. In Insomnia, the Crimson King's agents appear, and the deadlights are referenced as still active. King has stated its influence never truly left Derry. The losers wounded the entity badly, maybe even destroyed its physical form, but something survived. Whether it's a fragment or the creature is regenerating slowly in the dark, the 27-year clock is ticking once again. Pennywise was once a real person. The theory that disturbs many fans most suggests Pennywise was once human. In King's novel, the creature introduces itself as Robert Bob Gray, and in E.T. Chapter 2, Mrs. Kirsch shows old photographs of her father, Robert Gray, standing beside a circus cart labeled Pennywise the Dancing Clown. That single image sparked endless debate. Some believe the entity needed a physical host to anchor itself in our reality, and Bob Gray, already a performer known for drawing in children, was the perfect vessel. Others argue the monster consumed Gray and adopted his appearance, blending myth with memory until Derry forgot where one ended and the other began. If Bob Gray was real, it means Pennywise didn't just appear in Derry. He murdered someone and wore their life like a costume. The idea adds chilling realism to an otherworldly demon, suggesting that somewhere in Derry's history, a man named Robert Gray disappeared, and something ancient crawled into his skin. By the way, if this type of content is your thing, subscribing really helps the channel. More horror theories coming your way. Pennywise and the Crimson King are the same entity. This theory connects Stephen King's two most powerful villains as one cosmic being wearing different faces across the multiverse. Both are transdimensional demons born outside reality, feeding on fear, chaos, and despair. The Crimson King rules from the Dark Tower. Pennywise hides in Derry's sewers, but fans notice they share identical traits. Both shapeshift into monstrous spider forms. Both radiate the same eerie orange deadlights. Both speak from the void beyond creation. And both destroy the beams that hold reality together. In the Dark Tower novels, King describes entities similar to Pennywise lurking in other worlds. Agents of the Crimson King sent to corrupt specific locations. Derry sits near a weak point in one of the beams, revealed explicitly in Insomnia. What if Pennywise is a localized fragment of the Crimson King, a piece of the larger demon sent to infect one corner of the multiverse? The Crimson King wants all realities to collapse into chaos. Pennywise systematically destroys Derry through cycles of violence and trauma. Some analyses suggest they're identical, with Pennywise serving as the Crimson King's avatar in our dimension. Whether they're the same being or two halves of one demonic whole, every child Pennywise devours feeds the Crimson King's plan to collapse all of existence. The balloons contain trapped souls. Those floating red balloons aren't just calling cards, they're prisons for the souls of Pennywise's victims. Every time a child disappears in Derry, a balloon marks the location. The balloons literally contain the essence of the dead, sealed inside the same way Pennywise hides his true form behind a clown's face. The deadlights are described as a swirling mass of souls or consciousness. Balloons appear whenever the deadlights are near, suggesting a direct connection. In the sewer confrontation scenes, hundreds of balloons float in the background. Some fans have counted them against the number of missing children over the decades. The math aligns disturbingly well. Pennywise creates thousands of balloons because he's collected thousands of souls over centuries. When balloons pop in the films, they often reveal blood or release a burst of red light, as if something inside is escaping. The theory suggests that every time you see a balloon floating through Derry, you're watching a child's trapped consciousness drift by, still screaming, still aware, unable to escape or die. Pennywise doesn't just kill his victims, he keeps them. Each balloon is a trophy of a soul that will never know peace. The other monsters are real. The leper, the mummy, the werewolf, the painting lady. Fans debate whether these creatures are just Pennywise wearing different masks. The theory argues these monsters are real, separate beings that Pennywise created or summoned from the Deadlight's dimension. Throughout both films, the monsters display individual personalities and hunting patterns that feel too distinct to be simple illusions. The leper pursues Eddie with specific knowledge about his medication. The painting lady stalks Stan with targeted religious imagery. The werewolf in the library acts independently while Pennywise appears elsewhere. In King's novel, Pennywise is described as having the ability to manifest nightmares into physical reality, not just project them. Every time Pennywise feeds on a child's fear, it can take that terror and give it life, creating a new monster that continues hunting even when Pennywise sleeps. This explains why Derry has centuries of different monster sightings, not just clowns. The Bradley gang saw something. The Black Spot victims saw something. Each generation faces creatures tailored to their specific era's fears. Pennywise isn't the only monster in Derry, it's the source, turning stolen fear into living weapons that hunt independently. Muran the turtle secretly saved them. The ancient cosmic turtle quietly manipulates events in both It films, protecting the losers without them realizing. In King's universe, Muran represents creation and balance, the opposite of Pennywise, who embodies destruction. In the original novel, Bill communicates with Muran during the ritual of Chud. The films removed that direct exchange, but hid visual references everywhere. Lego turtle in Georgie's room, turtle wallpaper in multiple locations, a turtle at the quarry when the losers first swim together. Welcome to Derry takes it further with turtle costumes and turtle charms on jewelry. These aren't just Easter eggs, they're proof Muran's presence stretches across timelines. Because Muran also appears in the Dark Tower as one of the Guardians of the Beam, his involvement ties it into King's broader multiverse. The theory argues that every turtle image represents a moment where Muran subtly intervened, when the losers survived impossible situations, when their belief suddenly strengthened, when Pennywise retreated unexpectedly. The turtle was working behind the scenes. Muran can't destroy it directly, cosmic rules prevent that, but he can guide and protect those who can. The losers were never fighting alone. Pennywise's true form is not a clown. The clown is just a costume. Pennywise's actual form exists as swirling orange lights called the Deadlights, a cosmic entity that exists outside our reality in a place beyond time and space. This isn't fan speculation, it's confirmed in both the novel and films. When Beverly gets trapped by Pennywise as a child, she floats into the Deadlights and sees the truth. They appear as luminous orange energy spiraling in a void, existing in multiple dimensions simultaneously. The Deadlights can consume consciousness, trap souls, and exist across all points in time at once. This explains why simply destroying the clown's body isn't enough to kill it. The physical form is just a puppet designed to lure and terrify children. In Chapter 2, when the losers confront it in its lair, the creature sheds the clown appearance entirely and reveals writhing cosmic horror underneath. The Deadlights are described in King's novel as a force from the macroverse, the space between dimensions where physics don't apply. Pennywise chose the clown form because it's disarming to children, colorful and friendly until it's too late. But behind that painted smile is something ancient and incomprehensible. A predator that's been feeding on worlds long before Earth existed. The clown dies. The deadlights retreat. That's the difference. Thanks for watching. If you want more deep dives into horror lore, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one.